Hi, it's Stefania over at Sleep Stories and Classic Fairy Tales for Kids, and we've got the next chapter of the Northland. If you remember from the last chapter, the Prince Kanai was on his way to bring back to the Maiden Matanuska the thing that she most desired, and as a reward, he would have her hand in marriage. Perhaps we'll read the last tiny bit of the other part. "Oh, my brave prince," wept Maiden Matanuska, "my heart cries out against your going, for since the day I met you, I have loved you dearly. But I was always fearful lest my father bid me wed another, because you had no fortune. Therefore I set the riddle which only you did guess, and now may all good powers guard you on your quest, and bring you safely back to me. While you are gone, the waking hours will often find me standing on this shore, awaiting the glad sight of your return." "My beloved maiden," sighed the prince, "with such sweet faith and love to bless me, I cannot fail." He rent his flowing feather mantle in two parts and wrapped a portion of it around the maiden. "I would I had a richer token for you, love," said he, "but even so, this feather mantle is no mean gift. Who wears it will be ever safe from icy blasts and snow and cold, and will ever be young and fair as on the day they wore it first. Now, kiss me in farewell, and promise me that when I do return and bring the sun, you'll marry me." The maiden Matanuska kissed him thrice and promised, and springing into his boat, Prince Kenai sailed away. She stood on the shore and blew him kisses and caresses, but soon his form was lost in darkness and the mists, and maiden Matanuska was left forlorn. Now, in those olden days, when princes journeyed around the world on errands for maidens whom they loved, the space of time they usually were gone was a year and a day. So, when a year and a day had passed, the maiden Matanuska often wandered through the birch wood and stood upon the border of the sea. She strained her gaze far to the south to see the sight of any sail, but Prince Kenai came not. She asked the birds of passage if they had seen her prince, and sometimes they had news of him. "Oh, tell me, ye wild gulls of the wild skies," she asked, "do you know aught of my brave Prince Kenai? He wears a feather robe like mine, and seeks in lands after to find the sun for me." "Oh, yes," replied the gulls, "we have seen a prince so dressed, and he was sailing westward on the sea, and seemed to seek the sun." "And found he what he sought?" cried Maiden Matanuska eagerly. "Alas," the gulls replied, "the truth is, he did not. For many evenings when the day was done, we saw this prince sail westward. He hoped to meet the sun just where the sky bends down to meet the sea, but though he sailed for days and days, the place he sought seemed sailing too, and so he reached it not." "That is sad news," the maiden sighed. "But when again you see my prince, tell him that all my thoughts are his, and I am sure he cannot fail." Another time, she asked a kite bird had he seen Prince Kenai. "Oh, yes, dear maiden," the kite bird made reply, "and he was in the Southland, whither he had gone to seek the sun. But he was worn and wearied with much wandering, and the road was long. And by the time he reached there, the sun had long departed on his journey to the Eastland." "That is sad news, good kite bird," said the maiden. "But when you see my prince again, pray tell him that my hopes are his, and I am sure he cannot fail to win his quest." And still another time did Maiden Matanuska ask an auk to tell her of Prince Kenai. "I saw him," said the auk, "and from the feather robe he wore I judged him first to be some bird. In lands where scarlet poppies lull the weary travelers to sleep, and waterfalls make thunder down the mountainsides. Prince Kenai I saw, toiling up the rocky slope where it is said the sun does rise." "And did he reach the top of this steep slope?" asked Maiden Matanuska. "Not that I could say," the Auk replied, "for I was flying swiftly and paused not at all. But this I know, the sun's a mighty glowing being, and is like to burn all those who venture near its presence. Unless Prince Kenai has some magic charm, I doubt if the sun will heed him." "That is the saddest news of all," sighed Maiden Matanuska. "But even so, I shall not weep, but pray for him instead. When you next meet my prince, good Auk, tell him that all my love is his, and I'll await his coming, though he remain 1,000 years." "I shall," replied the Auk, and soared away. And so the Maiden Matanuska waited until the time sped on. Wrapped in her feather mantle, she wandered through the birches like a lonely spirit, and the trees were grieved for her. She still dreamed dreams and loved to think about the time when she would meet her prince, when the light of day would banish all the gloom and shadows of the Northland Kingdom. Still, years passed on, and still Prince Kenai came not. Kin Tamna feared him dead, or that perhaps he had lost his way and was a wanderer forlorn. But Maiden Matanuska knew no fears. "The journey to the sun is long, my father," she would say, "and my brave prince no magic hath to make it short. He will return and bring with him this wondrous traveler whom he seeks, and what a pleasant place the Northland Kingdom then will be." Is the prince really going to come back? I hope so. Don't you? Well, I think he will. Maybe we'll find out a bit more in the next episode, which will be part 4. It'll be coming up soon, so if you want to know speedily when the next episode is ready, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button. Then you'll get notification when the next part of this story is ready just for you. And in the meantime, we'll have lots of other stories, and we have our tongue twisters and all kinds of other good stuff to help us have a happy life. That's it for now. Be good. Stay well. Bye.